Dragon Age Veilguard is truly something special in all the worst ways possible. It has completely flipped the entire gaming community on its head, and it is currently destroying channels like Fextra Life and now Mr. Matty Plays for the most hilarious reasons.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, so there's a lot of drama surrounding Mr. Matty Plays, who is a YouTuber that focuses on video games and game reviews and what.
Extremely well known, primarily Bethesda shill. Bethesda does not do anything wrong when Mr. Matty gets to speak.
And there's a lot of drama because there was leaks for Dragon Age: The Veilguard about 12 to 24 hours before the embargo lifted on the 28th, so it happened the day before. And a lot of the leaks that were happening, people realized that the Rook, the character that was being used in the leaks, is the exact same character that Mr. Matty Plays had. It was a one-for-one, and it's very difficult to pull that off in a game where, number one, you could customize your character, and number two, how are you going to know what someone's character is going to look like before they actually release their review? So this happened beforehand, and people put it together, and they realized, is this you? And now it's gotten to the point where Mr. Matty Plays has now had to make an official statement on the entire nonsense.
Yeah, effectively, he admitted what happened. But I'll just say this. Initially, I didn't believe that it was him. Because, first of all, I really doubt Mr. Matty has enough balls to do something like that, okay? And BioWare is so desperate they could actually sue. And they would win. Because breaking an embargo is something you can easily get sued over, okay? It's not hard at all. And most importantly, for me in general, it's not enough evidence to say, oh, look at that, your character looks exactly like that. Now, it is a lot of evidence, honestly, but it's not enough evidence for me. One, there is a very, very minor chance that that's completely coincidental. Two, I'm pretty sure Mr. Matty had the 6 hour before plaything in Dragon Age Veilguard, where he get to create his own character, and maybe people could recreate it from that. I'm not 100% sure on that, but in general, I'm just saying. But when you're going to tell me he was the leaker, just because the character looks similar or is the same, that is in general not enough evidence for me to actually make a conclusion. Not enough. Now, admittedly, yes, he admitted to this, that it was his editor's friend or something like that. But still, in general, I'm just saying, that's not enough evidence for me to draw a conclusion. It looks, 80% that it probably is that person, but not enough evidence in general to make a finite 100% conclusion.
Entire nonsense.
Plead the fifth. 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
So let's get into this video, guys. But of course, before we do, if you are new here,
like, subscribe, yeah,
appreciate it and like the
let's
video
go.
to push us out into that YouTube algorithm. Now,
push it, baby,
and I'm gonna
push it harder than a pregnant woman.
Read it again to you guys live on video. But let me tell you, this thing is an absolute meltdown. Okay, I have never seen somebody melt down this much over potentially losing their access, and this is the reason why.
Oh yeah. Oh, yeah. Again, Mr. Matty is a very known and very defined shill in most people's eyes. And for people like that, access to these games is the biggest thing that they can do for their channel for money. And potentially losing this access is really bad. And by the way, I didn't mention this when I talked about Fextra Life, but Mr. Matty Plays is the same situation as Fextra Life. You cannot, even if you get slighted and they don't give you a review copy or whatever, like in Fextra Life situation, you can't make videos like that because other companies are going to look at that and say, hey, yeah, look at that. A company didn't give him a code and they decided to go full scorched earth. So things like this are very bad for channels like that because they thrive on access. They thrive on the ability to provide insight and content of things that no one else can.
I can never be a shill, will never be a shill, no matter how much someone may want to pay me. I don't care.
I will be a shill for an appropriate sum of money. Just saying it, okay? I'm different. I'm built different. I have no morals in these senses, okay? well, I'm never gonna get the sponsorships, but my viewers know. My viewers know. If I'm shilling for something, it's blatantly obvious, and that is a sign that you should not buy whatever the hell that is. Except Raid Shadow Legends. I really do believe in that game. I played it for 3 years straight. It was great. Okay? That's the only exception.
I will never be a shill because looking at this man melting down just gives me all the affirmation that I am doing things the right way for me. You know what I mean? Maybe
Bro,
other people is different, but for
preach
me,
it, brother.
I'd rather just be authentic to myself and buy whatever games that I want to review my own money so that I don't have to be tied.
Also, by the way, on that point, being this weak-willed little fucking manlet is so depressing, probably. Imagine that you constantly need to be worried about the fact that you say something wrong and people are gonna wag their finger at you and say that that's bad. And you always need to consider that in your life for every decision that you make. That is just so absolutely pathetic.
Down by a corporation, and the moment that corporation potentially turns their back on me, I lose everything, right? Like I'm just not going to ever let a company have that level of power over me. But let's get into the statement. So it says, I think it goes without saying, but today has been an extremely hard day. I really appreciate your patience as I looked into things. And again, I don't really know what there is to look into. Either you did it or you didn't, but it seems like we're going to get an entire story as to why he did. First off, I would like to apologize to everyone at BioWare and EA. I've already reached out to them to let them know the truth. We already have plans to sit down and have a conversation about it. That is my gameplay. It was never my intention for clips of Dragon Age to get released ahead of the embargo lifting. I had shared these 2 clips of the game with an editor of mine. It is to my understanding that these clips were then taken, shared again, and went down the chain to someone far removed from the both of us who then posted them claiming to be associated with me. So yes, the clips are mine.
By the way, Mr. Matty Plays just flat out went ahead and said that Dragon Age Veilguard is bad. So he is completely burnt. Okay, he's gonzo in this regard. Being burned by EA automatically means that you're gonna get burnt by everyone else. So I mean, this is a short-term, extremely bad thing for him. But in the long term, you know, he may look into other things. They could be good for him. Who honestly knows? But he can. The next year is probably going to be a little bit tougher for him because he's going to lose a lot of access, and not just from BioWare, not just from EA, from the whole industry because of this. But you know, after a year or two, people are going to completely forget that it's going to be down to business, shilling and killing again. So you know. Don't cry for this. There's no reason.
Fine. If BioWare, EA, or any other game company chooses not to work with me over this, then I fully understand and accept that. If you, the viewers of my content, choose to not trust me because you deem me irresponsible with the privilege I was given as a game reviewer, I also fully understand and accept that. Now, I understand he's trying to disconnect himself from the person who leaked everything because apparently the account that leaked everything was extremely racist. Again, I didn't see the account.
By the way, that's the funniest part about this. That is the funniest part about this. A lot of N-words were said, my dude. A lot of N-words were said, my N-word. Okay? That's probably the funniest part about all of this.
Account at the time, and I believe now the account is banned, so I can't even go back and look at it. But from what I understand, people were saying it was a very racist account. Even the name of the account was very racist. But again, I don't really know because people throw around the word racism, as we know. Like,
as much as I understood, also the account was, it either masqueraded as a black person or something like that, or it was supposedly owned by someone who is black. I don't understand it, but people did not buy it that it's an actual black person, which makes this the oh so more hilarious.
Like nothing, and it loses all meaning, so it's hard for me to understand. But that's what I got from the understanding of it. So I understand that he's trying to separate himself from that and say, well, it's a friend of a friend of a friend of a friend. Actually, it's not even a friend. It's kind of just a friend of a friend of a friend. It just like keeps going.
Yeah, it was my mom's triple removed cousin's second father-in-law's aborted baby who posted that. Completely has nothing to do with me.
Going down and down and down until eventually they try to remove themselves completely from it. But at the end of the day, man, you shared it with somebody who shared it with somebody else who eventually got to somebody who's a friend of theirs. So you are linked to this to some way, shape, or form, and they must know either you or a friend of yours, which makes you wonder again, how did this even happen in the first place? Why did they think it was okay? Why did they think it was okay to leak the content and risk you, right? Because it is risking you. It was your rook. It was so obvious to catch, and everybody caught on to it. They must have known that this was going to put you in the spotlight. But I guess nobody really thinks that far. With that said, it's extremely important for me to firmly shut down one element of this narrative going on around about me. Whoever shared these clips on X with the attached hateful comments and replies is not me. I have no clue who runs that account. They're most definitely not my friend, and they stand against everything I believe in. I am only speculating, but I think whoever took my game footage and tweeted about it as if they were connected with me was quite...
Oh, by the way, the language now changes. Whoever took my game footage, like, this is like someone stole for him, effectively, okay? First it was, don't know what happened, don't know who shared it. Now it's like, now he's like, oh, it pretty much got stolen from me.
Deliberate, as it's an easy way to paint me in a bad light. Now, makes you wonder again, if they're doing that and they're trying to paint you in a bad light and they got this footage from one of your friends, it has to be, right? It has to be from one of the people that you shared it with. It just trickles down. At the end of the day, if this is the case, then it makes you wonder about the friends that you keep, right? Because the friends that you keep are trying to tear you down. That's the only reason I...
By the way, the idea that Matty plays is, by the way, is secret closet racist. No. Absolutely not. If anything, he's a closet homosexual, okay? That's the best case scenario, okay? Well, he's probably... There's a bigger chance that he's gay or trans or something like that in the closet. Then he's actually racist, okay?
I would see this happen. Otherwise, why do what's going to so obviously get hatred towards your way? Why do this? Knowing that it's going to happen. Beyond any guesses I may have, I would never leak my own footage on an alt account and then use that exact same footage in my review. Said account no longer exists, and it is my understanding that it is because it was reported multiple times following the public ridicule that it rightfully received. There's no room for that type of hate. So, again, I'm imagining that this thing was a very racist account, or probably, most likely, because let's be real, right? Like, Matty plays as a shill at the end of the day, and sure, he could try to be as objective as he wants, but he is ran by these corporations, right? Because you could see from this meltdown that you're about to witness that he feels like he's going to lose everything over this, which I can understand the feeling. I get it. It fucking sucks, especially when it's not necessarily your fault, but at the end of the day, it's still just, it goes to show, man, letting them have this level of power over you is never good. But anyway, so it says, it also needs to be said that I have not deleted any comments on my review. I believe as a consumer of media...
Oh, by the way, the reason I'm looking down while Hypno speaks is because I'm looking at my dick, obviously, if anyone's wondering.
You have a right to call someone out on bullshit or say what you feel.
I'm actually playing just with these things. Hey, nice. I like to do this. One. Oh, you can't see it. Well, anyway, I'm looking at my dick, as said previously.
Reset words for my channel filters that fall under racist, homophobic, etc. terms that automatically gets caught by YouTube's moderation system. But that's it. Now, the funny thing is that you don't even have to set anything, right? You don't have to censor any words because YouTube will automatically do it anyway.
Yeah, I have that even.
So, like,
and I have specifically also added some words that can slip through the cracks, and that's because, hey, I feared what YouTube can do on a day where they're just pissy.
The fact that you went the extra step to make sure that certain words aren't seen is a little bit ridiculous because, again, YouTube does it anyway, but whatever. The man can run his channel the way he wants to. I don't care. I can't tell him how to run his channel. I just find...
But, by the way, you should actually add specific words, especially, by the way, the majority of words I have added are, you know the bots that spam shit? Yeah. They use very specific words that no one else is going to use, and you can just add them, and then your channel's kind of bot spam free for the most part.
I find it ironic. I know I can't convince each and every one of you, but I do think you all deserve an explanation. At the end of the day, my circle of trust was breached, and it was my fault for sending a clip in the first place. And that's what I was saying, right? So it has to be in your circle to some extent. You have to understand that even though it got, domino affected and it went down the rabbit hole, it still is somebody in your circle to some extent, right? One of your friends gave it to someone with ill intentions, and they used those clips in a very ill manner.
I don't agree with this, because when you go down the chain enough, You literally just go, if you go down the chain 3 times, people don't even know what the original clip is, why it exists, and someone's like, "Oh, this is Dragon Age Veilguard. I'll just post about it because I think it's trash on X." Then maybe that person doesn't even know the game's not out. Maybe the person doesn't even know that there's an embargo. But you go down the chain like 2 or 3 times, it's completely the Wild West. Who honestly knows about it or whatever? So
mattered way, and it got you in trouble. So you got to look at your circle again and understand there's a hole there somewhere. Now we get to the meltdown of this. This is where it gets really ugly. It says, I'm deeply disheartened by the amount of people who believe that this Twitter account was me. I don't expect blind loyalty, yet it hurts to see just how quickly I was thrown under the bus. Welcome to the internet, man. The sad reality of it all is that the damage is...
No, Hypno, please. And this is not welcome to the internet. This is welcome to the audience that you yourself created. The people loyal to you are literally waiting until the moment that you fuck up in the slightest way so they can try to cancel you. This is all you. This is all you strive for. This is all you try to achieve. And there are no exceptions. This is what you reap when you sow.
Done, and many people have made up their minds about me today. Since I have started covering this game, many angry opinions have fallen in my lap. When I played the preview, I thoroughly enjoyed it and had a chance to interview the game's director, Corin Bush. Of course you did, like a good little shill.
Yeah.
On that video, people were sending hate my way because they wanted...
Also, I didn't even see that. Wow.
Their opinions heard. Now I have put out my honest and objective review, and people are still unhappy.
Oh, wait, was that the one I did not want to watch because it physically disgusted me?
Well, my personal opinion. It has always been my goal to deliver fair, honest coverage of video games and elevate the conversation, not fan the flames. Well, see, here's the thing, right? It doesn't matter. You trying to ride the middle by being honest, objective, whatever, you trying to ride the middle, whether by being truthful about it or not, right? Let's say you're trying to ride the middle because you're lying about it. Okay. Or let's say you're trying to ride the middle because you're honest about it and that's where you truly believe you're at. Okay. At the end of the day, you're still the enemy of the people who are using this game as an ideological battleground. You still are. Like they're not looking for you to ride the middle.
That thing gives Maddie way too much credit, by the way. Hypno unironically, unintentionally, submagically help portrayed Maddie in a positive light. That is kind of hilarious. Because yes, even this is technically a positive light.
They're looking for you to be unequivocally on their side and talk about how trans lives are amazing and you need to bend the knee to all of it. That's what they're looking for. And if you don't bend the knee to the trans ideology, or if you're not happy with the injection of modern day in Dragon Age, well, you could just get out. They're going to cancel you. It's all the same thing. And to be honest with you, that's probably what's happening here to an extent. And then it says, I'm deeply sad that my clips have played into the detraction of the game that, as stated in my review, others may enjoy more than me. Looking at the open critic score, I'm glad to see it is that way. It's not that way, right? So let's be honest here. The critic score doesn't mean a damn thing. We all know this. Most gamers don't even utilize...
Yeah, the critic score is complete trash.
The critic score in any meaningful way. Most people use YouTubers in a more meaningful way than actual critic scores. Critic scores are bought and paid for, especially when it's a...
BioWare, I'm just saying, I can also be bought and paid for. I'm a little piglet ready to be lathered up, okay? Maddie's not the only one who would be extremely... They can't just give me money. I take it back, I don't care. As if it's not money, I'm not interested.
Video game like this where it is so ideologically driven and it is made from a studio that has a trans person at the head of the studio. Let's be real, they're never going to talk bad about this game. We all saw this coming and we all called the scores before they even came out in the first place. I said that IGN was going to give it a 9 out of 10. I said it weeks before they gave it a 9 out of 10. It's so obvious.
Yeah, something like this, I'm surprised it's not a 10 out of 10.
This is what they were going to do. They need this game to be a commercial success no matter what. Then it says that it's been a tough cycle for the folks at BioWare, and to know that I played a part in the pain of the developer who made my favorite games ever is a regret that I don't think I'll ever live down, even if people... Bro, what? Stop the meltdown. This man is pretending as if he leaked fucking, like, I don't know, governmental documents. Like, stop. Stop it. It's a video game, my guy. Like, you're acting like you leaked gameplay a year in advance and ruined the surprise. Like, no.
Dude, people who leak War Thunder classified U.S. intelligence documents don't have this much regret.
Bro, you leaked gameplay 12 hours before the embargo lifted. Nobody cares, bro. Nobody cares in a new
Also, boys, I think it has been a new record since we have lived more than a month without someone leaking classified U.S. weapons details to War Thunder to prove a point on the internet. I mean, applause. Government secrets have been upheld and not leaked to War Thunder for a whopping 2 months, probably. What a time to be alive.
meaningful way, and the people that are coming after you at Twitter are only doing it because they want to weaponize against you, because they want to take you down. You got people who are jealous, you got people who are envious, and they constantly want to see big YouTubers burn, because you have people out there that desperately want to be able to have a job like that but don't have the skill or the capability or the knowledge or just the know-how in order to even do it in the first place, or the charisma.
Yeah, one of the easiest ways to understand a petty person from a non-petty person is their way of looking at their people who are in the same space as them and who are doing better than them. If you cannot be happy about the fact that someone's succeeding and you wish that they crash and burn so you can get their viewers or something like that, might as well be a Biden voter at this point.
They just can't do it, so they get mad and want to tear you down, and any opportunity they can to get you to get taken down, they're gonna jump on it. Why wouldn't they? They're haters. I want to thank my wife, my best friend.
It all goes exactly in the same direction of weakness. Again, woke is just weakness. It's weak men, it's stupid women. It's all the same things.
Here we go with the award speech. And my LSM family, who hung with me and didn't lose faith in me. The statements made about my character today have broken my heart into a million pieces. My God, the absolute meltdown.
A billion pieces.
I don't say that you feel bad for me.
A billion, trillion, gazillion, fifillion pieces.
I feel it's important to give my love to those who willingly stood by me in the face of all this. I know it wasn't easy having your ethics in question just by being in my vicinity. And lastly, I'm not going anywhere. I'll be continuing to make content about games across Mr. Matty Plays, Retro Rebound, Defining Duke. I will also continue to pretend I know what I'm talking about when it comes to movies on Retro Rewind. Hopefully I will see you there. If not, thanks for taking the time to read this, and I hope you have a good rest of your day. Matty. Now,
wait, has Retro Rebound made it to EFAP? Anyone know? Because it's impossible to watch every EFAP episode at this point. You simply just don't have enough time in the world. But yeah, has Retro Rebound made it to EFAP? Because this is definitely... Mr. Matty's opinions on movies, that's definitely something that deserves to be on EFAP. There is no question about that.
Now, again, ladies and gentlemen, this tweet has 1 million views. It is growing, consistently.
It is hilarious. Anyway, thank you, Hypno. That was 10 out of 10. Have a nice day. Bye.